It's hard to start one of these videos and not sound awkward or mysterious or whatnot, so I'm just gonna be like, hi. It's gonna be a little weird, it's gonna be a little awkward. This is the first time I've done something like this, so just bear with me. I wanted to have a video out there that sort of covers some of the major things that have happened in my life recently, which is why in the world I suddenly went AWOL from streaming. No variety streams, no roleplay streams. I just was MIA, no communication. And honestly, I know people are like, well, you don't really need to worry about that. People care. But I still felt like it was important for me to sort of put something like this out because I am wanting to start taking my own channel in a new direction. Both my streams and my YouTube channel. I would like to actually be more active about putting out content. Part of my inspiration and motivation for doing this was I recently made a trailer for a roleplay that I'm involved in. So that process was something that really resonated with me. It was something that I found a lot of enjoyment in doing. It was a little bit of a, daunting task at first when I was visualizing this all in my head and I had this certain idea and I was like, how in the world am I going to do this? Which is why in the world, one of the things I definitely want to say is thank you to Luna Kasai. The day we sat down and we recorded a lot of the shots, it was immediately there that I was like, okay, I can do this, because I was so worried. I was so worried that the most that I was going to be able to do was take cinematic shots of worlds, and that's about it. That's not a very interesting trailer. Some people probably wouldn't mind. People enjoy hearing my voice for some reason. I won't deny it. I don't think I have a bad voice, but I don't think that it's anything special. But people like it, and I'm not going to stop them from enjoying it. That's kind of off topic. The topic that I wanted to point out is that I do want to start doing more cinematic content on my channel, and doing that is going to end up taking some time, going to take some effort. If you look at my controllers right now, I can't actually do anything that I want if I want hands involved because I can't bend the rest of my fingers because both of my index controllers have broken. And I'm not wanting to invest any of my own money into buying me new ones because I'm wanting to replace this entire headset. It's literally held on by tape and hair bands and more tape. The fact of the matter is that my headset's going, at least physically. It's not dying, I can still see the cord's fine, but it's on its last legs. I've had this for at least 3 to 4 years, this particular iteration of it, and it's been through hell and back. I find a lot of comfort being within the virtual space, and it helps subside a lot of anxieties when I go to sleep. So I use it all the time. I go to sleep in it. I won't be able to do exactly what I want just yet. But I did at least want to point out, hey, I'm not wanting to step back from streaming, but I want to step back from looking at streaming as the main focus of what I'm doing. And I want to instead actively do more built and structured stuff, which is probably good in the long run. It's going to at least put me out there in a different capacity on a different platform. I have no interest in becoming big or successful. This is just something that I do because I believe it is a way to achieve my ultimate goal, which is I just want to make your lives better. I want you to be able to be like, hey, I'm not feeling too good. I want to put on a video that's going to make me feel good. A lot of people have said that just listening to my voice relaxes them, and so here we are, making a video where I'm doing nothing but talking. The other point to be made about me changing direction is this is what a lot of people know me as, or more specifically, a lot of my viewers know me as. This is the identity that I assume when I'm streaming. This is my jackalope persona. I actually have some backstory and stuff that I created for her. I ended up creating her as a concept back, and I'm gonna sound a little bit hipster here, but it was before the VTuber craze really hit, and I was like, I have an idea. I could record myself using this and I could make that my avatar, because I was like, I don't want to show my face because I have gender dysphoria. I really do not like the male qualities in my physical structure. It's a thing that I live with. The fact of the matter is that this is the concept that I created in order to be a persona, in order to be a VTuber. In my mind, VTubers are characters, and the person behind those characters is often not represented by the character themselves. I know a lot of people who do bleed through their characters, and not in a bad way. It's just a lot of their personality comes out in the character, but it's extreme signs of their personality. And because of that, I wanted to change my appearance, the avatar that represents me. I am going to change out of this model and into the model that I actually ended up falling in love with, representing me specifically. So we'll be right, just editing. Nice as all. I just want you to know that transition actually took a lot longer than it needed to be. But, back on topic. Hi, this is the model that represents me. This is the model that I will always use to be who I am. It also has some implications as a character in its own way, but that's part of my story, and that will get seen eventually if you follow my story. There I go, getting distracted again. The point of me doing this was I wanted to introduce you to me, or the virtual me. This is a model that I have put a lot of effort into, giving it all kinds of customization, such as the ability to change its hair type, take off the halo, take off the wings. I have all kinds of, well, not all kinds, but I have other outfits on here. Almost all of my outfits have some reference to Starset because they're my favorite band. You're getting to know me. I just want to say that I appreciate everyone who does enjoy my content genuinely. I personally struggle to create content that I feel is well received. It's not that I'm not proud of it. I am often proud of pretty much anything that I make or do, like my streams and stuff. But sometimes I just feel like everything I do kind of falls flat. And this isn't me like getting down on myself or me like being passive aggressive towards people who don't view my content or this, that. Life happens and not everyone's content's gonna be for everyone. I haven't exactly networked in order to try and get more viewers by a lot of people who end up getting a larger influx of viewers do so by also expanding where their content is. They put it on little shorts on TikTok or Instagram, and they'll do funny moments as shorts on YouTube, stuff like that. I don't really do that, mainly because I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't looking for a larger audience, and the only reason I bring it up is because it ended up becoming a factor that actually bothered me. The primary reason I began streaming was because I wanted to play games for my fiance at the time. I think we were dating, and then we weren't living together, is the point. And they liked watching me play video games. And I was like, well, what I can do is I can stream. And they were into that, but they're also like, well, I also work, a 9 to 5. And I was like, well, here's what I'll do is I'll stream, which will have a VOD that you can later watch. And despite them seeming so interested in watching me stream, it just didn't hit with them. Maybe? I don't know. The fact of the matter is that I didn't get into streaming to do anything but stream. I was there to play my games, and people wanted to watch me play the game. Plain and simple, that's it. A lot of this rambling is because I don't do things to get popular. I don't do things to make money. So I'm always just going to do my own thing. This move isn't like one because I think that people are going to like this better than others and this, that, and the other thing. But with the reveal of this model, the reason I do that is because I'm going to want to start sort of more putting this as my face and stepping away from having a persona. I do enjoy my jackalope. I very much feel like at this point I'm going to relegate that persona to being more of a mascot for the channel than me, because I wanted her to have her own personality and her own existence that was not me, because that was my perspective of how VTubing should be. But one thing that I was definitely wanting to say is I am a person who is easily demotivated when no one's around. Recently, several of my streams will hardly have anyone talking. And this is back when I was streaming consistently. There would be like one or two people who would be consistently there, but it never felt like anyone wanted to be there. I felt like most of my viewers that were watching me were people who wanted to support me by opening my stream in a tab and just leaving it up, which is fine. I mean, I don't mind lurkers. I'm not getting down on that. If you don't feel comfortable talking in chat or whatnot, I'm not here to force you to do so. I'm a very tired person, and that's kind of my vibe. So I'm very laid back when it comes down to it. But the point that I'm making is that because unfortunately it was getting to the point of where no one was talking, I was getting very bummed out. It's very difficult to engage with no one. If I wanted to just talk to dead air for an extended period of time, I'd make YouTube videos, which is possibly why in the world I'm ending up pivoting to this sort of perspective. I'm still going to stream, but I'm not going to try to push myself to better the stream. The stream is going to be the recording in the studio, and then maybe me modifying it for YouTube. But even beyond that, like, stream is just going to be a stream. It's just going to be fun, which I know people are going to like that. I ended up asking a question to people of, like, do you want me to do like a long play of some game as one of my characters talking to someone as sort of like a relaxed chill video, because those are very popular now, and I know a lot of people do find my voice calming, and I wanted to create something so that if they do ever want to just, you know, put on my voice and just listen to me, they could, which technically, I guess this also counts. This is all rambling, and this is me talking without a script or any like bullet points, and this is probably going to be very messy, and I'm if you're still watching right now, I thank you. I appreciate you. I'm glad that you want to listen to me. I'm glad that you want to hear this start to finish. If you skip to this point and you happen to run into me saying this, I appreciate you the same. And we'll leave it at that. The point that I'm trying to make here is I ran into a creative roadblock when it came to streaming, when it came to creating content. On top of that creative roadblock, and this is the point in which I went radio silent. Back in May, I lost my dog, Riley, of 12 years. We saved them from the pound. He was actually a dog who had been adopted, but was then returned by the family that adopted him. Apparently, he actually had a couple of returns, and we ended up adopting him, and we loved him to death. He's probably the best dog that I ever will own. He never barked at people. He never really got, really barky when he happened to hear a sound. Occasionally he would, especially in his early days, but for the most part, for most of his life, he was a very calm, and he loved people. But I lost him. He was one of my service animals. He was one of the animals that whenever I felt anxious, I would cuddle him, and it's rough not having that anchor. 2 weeks later, we lost another pet. Riley, we knew that it was going to happen eventually. His kidneys were failing. We didn't know how long the kidneys were going to last, and eventually they just were going to give out. So we were somewhat aware that it would eventually happen, that we would have to eventually let him go. Our other pet, Calliope, was rough. Calliope was a beautiful patchwork kitten. Her coat had all kinds of patterns in it. She had like a paw that looked like she was one of the orange cats. She had a tuxedo paw. She also had like a tortie fur pattern, and it looked like she was a chimera, which is in animals. It's where in the world there is a divide down the middle of the animal, where basically the idea is that the eggs two fertilized eggs ended up pushing together and turning into one, and the DNA is on either side. It's a really interesting thing if you want to look it up. But she was very special, and we got her the same time that we got Riley. We got her as a kitten. She actually wasn't fully old enough to be adopted yet, so we had to wait a week. She always had sinus problems. She would struggle to breathe sometimes because of her sinuses. She was allergic to something. We gave her medication for it for years. One day, she just tanked. The day before, she was active. She was headbutting and meowing and cuddling up to Amy. And literally the next day, her eyes had rolled back into her head. She was breathing very labored, very slowly. And we found out there was a tumor. And it was the kind that even if we were to invest the money in it, it'd likely not save her, or the remainder of her life would just still be suffering. So we had to let her go. 2 weeks after we left Riley. We believe that she was heartbroken. We believe that since she was raised alongside of Riley, that she ended up... Apparently cats, according to the vet, when they become depressed, their immune system gets compromised. And we believe that's what happened. Apparently, according to Amy, she never left laying on the spot where Riley used to sleep. And it's rough, having those back to back. But what was even rougher was the day that I lost Riley was the anniversary of my father's passing. So not only did I lose two of my pets, which were practically children to me, it was also on the day that I had to remember that my father was taken from me by cancer. And all of that crushed me. I was numb. I was numb for a while. There were so many times where I just wanted to give up on all my creative endeavors. I just wanted to be like, I just can't handle it anymore. It's too much stress. It was rough. Still rough. I'm 35 years old. I had hoped to have children by now, and I don't. So those animals were the next best thing. So a lot of my parental feelings were there, and I knew we are elves in the eyes of animals. Our lifespan will greatly exceed theirs. And that's always been a comfort to me, in a way, looking at that like that. But it just gets me thinking, and that's never a good thing. It hit me hard. And if there's one thing that I know all too well, it's that no matter how well you mask your emotions, it will come out somewhere. And given that my content, the point of my content, is to try and make people feel better, I was not about to be in a bad state of mind playing something and possibly that starting to resonate somewhere within whatever I'm doing, be it my tone, be it like everything. I'm there to make you feel better, and I hope that I do. At the end of the day, this video was mainly to point out that's where I went, that's what happened. I lost a couple of things that were very close to me, and I was reminded also of losing one of the greatest people that ever existed in my life, my father. I'm wanting to be real with you here. I'm wanting to be genuine, and I hope that I am. I hope that you understand that this is me looking at you, the viewer, as someone that I do appreciate, that takes the time out of whatever schedule you do to pay attention to me. You don't have to. There is no obligation for you to click on a video or for you to watch a stream. But those that do, I really do appreciate it, because you are the reason I keep going. You're the reason I keep making these. You're the reason I keep thinking that I'm doing something right. I'm gonna be blunt. The true culmination of all of this is pointing out something that is personal. This is personal. But I lost a lot of meaning in my life. there were a lot of goals that I was striving to achieve that I can still achieve them, but I'm at a point in my life where I feel like I need to accept that I'm not going to be able to achieve all of them like I had hoped. And this isn't me like sitting here thinking, oh, I had hoped to, explore the world and go to the moon or this, that, and the other thing. No, it was all stuff that should have been achievable over the span of a few years, and it never came to fruition through no one's specific fault. And this pivot in content making is it's me attempting to find purpose again. I need a reason to keep going. I can't have my reason to keep fighting be to just be around. I'm sorry, this is getting heavy, but it's going to get heavy. As it stands right now, I feel like the only reason that I continue living is for other people. And I don't mean that in I won't pussyfoot around of it. I don't mean that as suicide, but more in the sense that whenever you wake up in the morning, there's something there. Something that drives you to do what you're doing. Sometimes that meaning is very simple. That you would like to have food on your table, right? I am very, very privileged. My wife has given me this privilege. I'm thankful for her. My needs are often met. I am not forced to be any kind of breadwinner. That leaves me sitting here, waking up, doing nothing productive. I play video games to simulate some sort of productivity. I write up fictional stories for people to enjoy, but nothing that I'm doing feels like it has purpose. Nothing that I'm doing is something that I'm like, I hear the alarm in the morning and I go, oh, I'm ready to do that. So much in my life has lost emotion, lost every sense, every semblance of meaning. There's just no easy way to say that. One of the things that I derived my meaning from was telling my story, was telling the story of Q. And even for a period, that ended up becoming desolate. I barely had any participants. I had people who were still interested in being around and being part of the story, but when it came to the days that we were supposed to be LARPing together, they were elsewhere, and that hurt. Additionally, just like telling my story, I like streaming games because I want people to see them. I'm there to share it with people. And it got to the point of where it didn't feel like I was sharing it with anyone. It felt like no one cared about the game that I was playing. Like, people only, and I don't mean like, I know that the whole point of watching a streamer is usually to watch for the streamer. If you're wanting to watch the game, you can just Google a gameplay loop with no commentary. There's plenty of those out there. But the games that I play, that I choose to play, mean something to me. And I like sharing that with people. And again, I just want to also point out for anyone who's watching, if you're a lurker, that's fine. I'm not talking to you. I'm not really talking to anyone. I'm more pointing out that there were people who ended up making me feel that they didn't actually care about the game that I was playing when I was trying to share it with them. And it felt very two-faced. It felt very smiling at the kid with the macaroni painting, being like, this is awesome. And in the back of your head, it's like, this is shit. I barely would ever get feedback on my streams. Or what feedback I got was just those who are already enamored with me. I don't know what it is. There are people who just, I could sing out a tune and they would be like, oh, that was a beautiful song. And I'm sitting here like, why are you lying to me? And the actually there is, they probably didn't notice that it was out of tune. But what I mean is that if I purposely just did slop, I'm sure these people would still be like, you know, and I'm not saying that as a bad way. It's just the fact that they're biased. And so they can't give me any constructive criticism because they already like what they see. And some of them have tried to give me that constructive criticism now that I've sort of like pushed for it and been like, hey, look, I need something. I need something to go off of. And that's good. But I'm just going on and beating around the bush. The fact of the matter is that I want everyone who does care, let me know. Be it in the comments, be it with a like. Hell, let me know you don't like it. Tell me why you don't like it. If you don't even want to use the medium of YouTube to do it, send me a DM. Say something in my Discord server. I'm open to it. I'm open to all the feedback. I just want to be a better person. I want to be able to be there for as many people as I can. I know what it's like to be on the bottom. I really do. I know what it's like to think that there's no way out. And that's why I do all of this. Is to if for whatever amount of time I'm streaming, or however long the video is, I want to give you that moment to at least be able to let go of all the stresses for just a little bit. And I want to make you feel better. I know that once the video ends, once the stream ends, I know that those feelings can sit right back in, but at least for the moment, you have a chance. At least for just a moment. That said, this has gone on long enough. I'm unsure of how far this is going to be able to be cut down. This is probably a 20-minute video, if that. And if you've made it this far, I appreciate you. Don't expect a lot of sappy stuff from me anymore. I actually wanted to start doing some videos that's sort of like comforting and talking about mental issues and stuff like that. So you might see those pop up on my channel. But what I want to do is I want to find purpose again in what I'm doing. And my first step to doing that is not trying to be a VTuber, not trying to be some sort of personality online. The first step to doing what I want to do is being myself, and this is it. Yeah, this doesn't look like me in real life. I wish I looked like this in real life. This is a very cute model. But it also really it really expresses me because I do have this kind of expression the whole time. I am a very tired looking person. Because I am. I've been through a lot, and I'm happy for all the people who are there for me, and who are more than excited to be a part of the journey with me. But yeah, this was supposed to be an outro, and it's already turning into its own thing. So, as I always say, thank you for everything. I appreciate you all for watching. I hope to see you all next time, and as always, stay sweet, cupcakes.